In this video, we'll demonstrate how you can use the new UX template component to manage users and groups in a running web application. So we'll start out by creating a brand new web project. So I'll go here and I'll say new project, and I'll call this project security demonstration, and I'll turn on the security framework. And I'll specify that we'd like this project to use an extended user information table. So I'll go ahead there and choose my connection string, and then I'll give the table a name. I'll just call it, say, extended user info table. Go ahead and then create the project. And this has created a new project for us with the security framework enabled, and we can see we already have the new component here called admin maintain users and groups. So let's go ahead now and run this by doing a live test. We'll run the login component, and then we'll log into our application. So we'll go there, user 1 and user 1 alpha. So this is going to log us in as an administrator, and because we're an administrator, we see this section here for admin only, and if we click on this button over here, this will open up the new template component that shows all of the users in this application. So if we click on a particular user, we can see what groups that user is a member of. So you can see user 2 is a member of group 2. If we'd like to assign user 2 to group 2 and also group 3, we can just check that box there and then click the save button, and that will save the changes. We can also view the existing users and groups organized by group. So this view here shows each user and the groups that that user is a member of. If we go here, we can see each group and then the users who are members of that group. So if we go to group 2 here, we see that user 2 is a member of this group. Let's go and assign user 3 to this group as well, and then go ahead and save changes. So user 3 now is also a member of group 2. So if we go back there and look at user 3, we see that user 3 is now a member of group 3 and group 2. So we can also edit the users in the application by selecting a row and either clicking the edit button or by double clicking on a row. So let's double click on that row, and you'll see that that has brought in a side panel where we can change this particular user's password. We can also, because this particular project has an extended user information table, we can store data to the extended user information table for this user, and that includes the ability to turn on two-factor authentication for this user. So we can go, for example, for user 3 here and turn on two-factor authentication and specify the two-factor authentication method. So we'll go there ahead and say email, and then we'll say that his email address is user3@a.com, and then go ahead and save changes. And you can see now that those changes have been saved to the extended user information table. So these changes are all in the users and groups that are being used at runtime. And not only can we edit the existing users, but we can also import additional users from an Excel sheet. So in this particular case, this project uses extended user information tables. So the Excel file that we import can specify columns for the additional fields in the extended user information table. So in order to get a template for the Excel import file, we can go here and say download Excel template, which will give us the format for the Excel file. But I've already created an Excel file, so let's go and take a look at the Excel file that we've got here. So here's an Excel file that's got new users. So we're going to be adding some new users to this application, and you can see how there's user 100. We're going to set their password to this, and we're going to set the groups for this user to group 10 and group 1. So group 10 is not an existing group in the current application, so this group will be added to the project. Then you can see we're going to be adding user 200, and then user 1 is an existing user, and what we'd like to do for this user is not change their password, so we'll leave the password field blank, but we can see here we've got plus group 2, so we're going to be adding user 1 to group 2. We could also type in minus and then a group name to drop a user from a group, and then in addition to that we're going to be adding a user 101 through user 200 to this application. So let's go ahead now and click on the import button, and we'll say upload Excel file, and then we'll go and say users to import. And you can see now that basically we start processing the records, and as the records are processed, we're getting a count showing the progress as the records are imported from the Excel file. And then once this process completes, we're going to get a downloaded file that shows us the results of all of the actions. So you can see now it says that an Excel file with results will be downloaded, and here's our results file. Let's go ahead and open it up, and you can see here's the results. Basically it tells you that for user 1 the password was this, and we created a new user and we added that user to those particular groups. So the results of all of the import actions are shown in the Excel file. So what we've shown in this video is how you can add a new template component to a project. If you already have an existing project and you'd like to add this component, you can go back to Alpha and then click on the new button over here, and then choose this button, which will add this component to your existing project. So this is how you can add this new template component to an existing project, and this component replaces several existing template components for allowing the admin to manage users at runtime in a web application. Thank you very much for watching.